morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. As you can see, we are not in the office today, and that's because I wanted more room to show you how we're going to put a file back together. Okay, sorry. Got a little eye thread thing going here. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, if you have uh, a project that you want to do that is larger than your largest hoop. For example, today we're talking about our 8 by 12 hoop. If your project is larger than the 8 by 12 hoop, what you need to do is you need to split the file. You need to create the file in its largest layout. Today we're using a 24-inch by 36-inch banner size, and you need to then break it all up into different hoop sizes, or into different segments. And let's see if we can do this. There we are. Okay, so this is, it's not what we want. What do we want? Nope. All right. Good morning, Barb. Good morning. So this is our file. As you can see, it's pretty large. And again, we're going to do 24 inches by 36 inches. And our hoop size is only an 8 by 12. So what do we want to do? The first thing I do, oh, come along now. The first thing I do is I create a box that equals my full-size piece. And I design in that piece. I design everything that's going to go on that banner. In fact, let me just hide all of this. All right, so that is our design file. This is actually a banner I did for a client several weeks ago. In fact, hers was actually smaller, so I just made it bigger to fit our 24-inch by 36-inch file size that we're going to work with. But, this is massively larger than our 8 by 12 hoop. So my next step after I've created my design file is I need to figure out where my splits are going to go. And for that, I create a line file that fits the parameters of my hoop so that I know where all my splits need to happen. And that's what I have here. I have a total of 7 splits in this design. I overlap my hooping so that I have a little wiggle room. I don't like splitting, for example, this letter D. If I split it out exactly where the hoop is, I would have to cut that letter D. Well, if I lay my hoop just a little bit differently, I can pull in the whole letter into a split. Good morning, Cindy. Good morning. What? Cindy's on a road trip this morning. You have to watch the replay. Well, we'll be here for you. Send me any questions you might have. Sorry, I'm working in a different camera configuration. And as long as I'm on the in digitizing monitor, I can't see what's going on in the comments. So I'm going to be kind of sporadic. So again, I've created in blocks of where I want my splits. And then I pull each split section, in this case, the horse facing left, and I put that in a file. I then save this. You can save it any way you want, but I save it as split names 1, 2, 3, all the way in this case to 7. And I center the split so that after I've saved it, I also need the print preview, which is the production sheet. And you know what? I just lost my screen. Let's see if we can do this again. And do. Good morning, Letty. There we are. It's back. So each one of my splits is saved in its own file. And then I print a production sheet for each one. Okay, I'm going to go over the comments here real quick. All right. Let me know if you have any questions as we go along. After I create my splits, and I like to create my splits, there are softwares out there that will split your file for you, but I don't like putting it back together when it splits right down the middle of a design element. It gets a little tricky. Then you got that overlap that looks like an overlap. You got a bulk up of thread. So I like to control my splits. So once all my splits are done and all my files are saved, I'll print out the production sheets. And I don't need the whole sheet. I just need the full size image section that shows what the design is for that particular section. We're going to bounce over to another screen. You ready? Ta-da! So this is my workspace. Let's see if we can do this now. You just don't want to cooperate. All right. So this is my workspace. This is my banner. My banner is 24 inches by 36 inches. Good morning, Jessie. And I have all of my pieces and parts. On my banner, I have found my center position. On my pieces and parts, I've done a little folding. I've marked the center of the whole design, that whole 4 sections here, 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. I've marked the center. I've also marked where the top line is, because in my design file, I want the top line to rest on my center line, my horizontal center. And then I taped them all together. And I do this because I need to know where to hoop what as I go. So I'll lay this out exactly as I want it. Exactly as I want it on my banner space. And then I start to decide who gets stitched first. Like so. But wait. We know that we're going to stitch this one first. We know that we're going to center it in our hoop. But how do we maintain the rest of these? Any way we can. I've used straight pins. I've used masking tape. Any way we can, we want to secure our pieces to our banner so that they stay relatively in the same place. We can adjust as we need as we're stitching, but we want to make sure that all of these are going to stay where we want them to. Again, any way we can. We're going to use straight pins. We're going to use masking tape. Some people have even used fabric glue. Not overly thrilled with fabric glue because it's considered temporary, and temporary is just that. It does not hold. So we use our straight pins, and then this will allow us to lift our project off of our workspace, add our stabilizer, and hoop. Now this first one, we know we want it to go in center. So how do we make sure we're in center? Well, most hoops have a natural center. This hoop also has a natural center, and I have marked that, and we just snap. Of course. So now that we've centered this, we can take it to the machine. We can stitch this element out. Be sure to remove the paper guide because, we don't need that. And then we can unhoop and hoop for the next section. I'm sorry, I'm kind of scattered this morning. I don't know. I think it might be the rain is affecting my headspace. I don't feel like I'm communicating correctly. Have any of you, hey, good afternoon, Frank. It's good to see you. Have any of you split a design file and put it back together? What is your preferred method? I'm coming back. Here we are. Any questions? I know this was only 15 minutes. This is terrible. What do we want to talk about? in the hoop, once you have your project hooped, no questions. Thank you. Anthony. Oh, transparent sticky paper. Nice. Anthony, send me a link if you've got one. I'd love to take a look at that. After you've hooped your piece center, you can use your page to help you position. We're going to snap again. To help you position in the hoop. I don't think you can see this, but there is a crosshair here that will show you center. You can fold or cut the paper as needed to fit in the hoop, to lay in center. Ta-da, right? So that you can position your start position in the place that you need it. Okay. Well, that was probably a pretty hokey presentation on putting a split file back together. My apologies for that. I don't know, like I said, something's not clicking up here in my head today, and that happens occasionally. So let's chat. We got 15 minutes. Let's have a conversation. I'm going to spin around here for a moment. Applique Getaway's coming up. Anybody else besides myself going to that? Anthony, it would be a bit of a trip for you, but we'd love to see you. Frank, you too. Let's see. How many hours would a flight be for you? Hokey. Listen, hokey. I grew up with hokey. Hokey is a word of my childhood. It's always been there. Where were we? Oh yeah, Frank was flying in from England. Where are you exactly over there? And Anthony, you're in Australia, is that correct? Jesse, where are you from? Barb is up in Minnesota. Letty is in Ohio. Yep, just too far away. You got that. Maybe someday. Liverpool. All right. All right. Let's see. I try to stay pretty domestic myself. I'm sorry. Like I said, my head is. Come on over to Ohio. Hey, listen, Letty. I was looking at different events for next year, and there's one in. It was a sewing and quilting and embroidery event that is in 1 week in Cleveland and the next week in Cincinnati. Might be something I'm looking into. Gonna have a sneeze here. Phew. Oh, sorry about that. So maybe next year I'll swing by your way. Frank, sorry. If Applique Getaway in Texas is too far, the Beatles. Yes, Liverpool and the Beatles. You probably have a lot of touristy places that people can go and see memorabilia or for the Beatles. That would actually be pretty cool. Oh, what else are we doing? Applique Getaway. Applique Getaway is my last event this year. Last one in the budget. I'm flying down. And then I'm going to, that runs through Sunday. So I'm flying down on a Wednesday. And then it ends on a Sunday. And then I'm going to visit with one of my clients down that way. And then I'll fly back on the 3rd of July, just in time for the 4th of July. I'm teaching freestanding lace at this event. I have one of the classes totally prepped and ready to go. The other one I'm working on today. I'm also working on a laser cutter project. Letty, I think you might be interested in this once I get there. I've dialed in the laser for fabric. I know what my speeds and power settings need to be. Now I'm trying to fine tune it. All right, people. I'm so sorry. My brain's just really scattered today. I'm having a hard time keeping up with this. Would you forgive me if we cut things short? We should get Jeff and Adam over into Ohio. They can drive right on through. Yes, actually, Barb's asking if I've done any cut work on fabric with the laser, and I have. I've been doing a lot of test work on fabric. And because I have a diode laser, there was a big question about whether it would cut specifically white fabric. And with the help of some other people that cut fabric, giving me a base, a place to start, I have been able to cut white fabric, nice clean lines. And I'm working right now on not just one layer of fabric, and specifically my patch twill, which I don't have anything laying around. Yeah, terrible. My patch twill, not just the one layer of patch twill, but in my situation, I want to cut through the patch twill, the stabilizer, and the heat and bond type adhesive on the back. So far, I've got all of that pretty much dialed in. What I'm doing now is I am working on trying to line up and cut a finished patch out of the stitched fabric. And I'm finding that I'm not getting the precision I need, and I'm thinking that it's because of a calibration thing. So that's what I'm going to work on today is some calibration, some class preparation, and I've got a couple of files to digitize. Letty wants the guys, meaning Jeff and Adam, to come by and link up her shop and teach her the laser. Letty has she has contracted a new space for her shop, and I'm excited to see it. Um, I'm sure she'll have it open and up and running before the end of the year, probably, hopefully, before the end of the month. Um, but maybe, I can make a trip out that way. We'll see. All right, people. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go. Please forgive me. Again, my head's a bit scrambled today. Should be mid-July. All right. Maybe, you're only about 6 hours. Thank you, Barb. Barb saying thank you, and have a great weekend, everybody. Maybe I should just go take a mid-morning nap. Maybe that'll help clear things up for me. We'll see you next week. I do have FK Getaway in a couple of weeks, but we'll try to do better next week. You all let me know if there's anything you want me to cover. If you want to redo the whole split file thing, we can do that. Thank you, Jesse. And I will. Thank you, Letty. We can redo the whole split file thing. Maybe next week I can scramble it better. I'm going to go now. You all have a great week.
Wasn't that fun? Do you have more questions? Do you want to learn something new? Join me at quicktostitch.com for coffee and conversation, and we'll talk about it. Embroidery machines, designs, and business. Hope to see you soon. Bye now.